Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexa, and today I'm going to be talking about coping with anxiety. And I just want to preface this with saying that I am in no way a professional. I studied psychology and social work in school. I am very interested in psychology, the way the mind works, the way people work and interact, and all that good stuff. But I am not a professional. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychiatrist. I am just here to share with you my own personal experience with anxiety and what I think has worked best for me over time. And a lot of this has been trial and error. And what works for me may not work for you. So I do want you to keep in mind that. But a lot of these things are super common coping skills that people use, and that's why I want to talk about them and go a bit more in depth with certain ones. So I do want to start with negative coping skills just because I think when people hear the term coping skills, they just assume they're going to be positive, but that's not the case, unfortunately. Coping skills just mean the way you react and respond to stressors, and they cover a very, very vast amount of things. We can have negative coping skills such as isolation, and there are positive coping skills such as going on a bike ride. So, for me, my coping skills, I want to say my negative coping skills include, and are definitely not limited to, isolation, overeating, overexercising. That's my dog coming. Lucky. Sorry. Anyway, other negative coping skills include, one used to be self-harm for me. Another was lie. I would definitely include lying in there. Self-sabotage. Let's see what else. I'll probably think of more while I'm recording this. But yeah, so just briefly to touch on negative coping skills, I think that at times they're definitely more natural. They are almost innate because when something impacts us to the point where we need to figure out how to cope with it, I think immediately we turn to the easiest thing, the thing that takes the least amount of effort, which the one right off the bat I think of is isolation. So let's take a breakup, for example. For me, I've been in relationships ever since I can remember, and breakups really hit me hard, as they do most people. And isolation, immediately, all you want to do is, well, for the most part, usually people like to retreat to themselves, like isolate, the picture of eating Ben and Jerry's in bed while crying and watching rom-coms or listening to depressing romantic songs or those type of things. And, I think right after a breakup or maybe you got a bad grade on a test, I think immediately after you need to give yourself time to comprehend the letdown, and I think that's healthy. But there also comes a point where it is not healthy. So, self-harm, for example, is not a healthy coping skill ever. I do want to make that very clear. Self-harm is not a healthy coping skill. It is a negative coping skill. Um, but yeah, so I may come back to that, negative coping skills in general, but I do want to focus on positive coping skills because, that's the title, that's why you're here. And I think we can all improve our coping skills. We can all add new coping skills. And I think just talking about them really makes you more aware and makes you want to strive to have better coping skills for when the situation arises where you have to figure out how to cope afterwards. So, okay, let's see. I have so many positive coping skills. And it's only because I'm in a very, very healthy, mentally healthy place in my life. And over the past 5 years, I've had so many trial and errors with different coping skills and developing my set of coping skills that I know are like a go-to, and they just make me feel good. And that's what positive coping skills do. That's what they're made for. They're supposed to help you get over whatever trauma or pain or suffering you feel and bring you to a place where long term you feel better about yourself. So for me, the first one I think of is exercise. Of course, I'm wearing an exercise top. This is not like a normal shirt I usually wear. It's just like a sports bra. So exercise for me is such an important coping skill. I challenge you guys to count the number of times I say coping skills in this video. But just to hammer it on in there. But yeah, exercise is so important to me. It's been such a pivotal part of my journey and my mental health journey, my physical journey. And, I try every single day to get in at least 1 hour of exercise. And I also go on long walks in the morning, in the evening. And I've been able to go on more walks just because of quarantine. But exercise for me leaves me in such a good headspace. It gives me mental clarity. It makes me feel better about myself. It gives me that confidence. It gives me an immediate, you get the adrenaline rush. You get so many good things going on in your brain chemically after or during and then after your workout. And I'm addicted to it. I love working out. I cannot speak more highly of it. I love it so much. But it wasn't always that way. It was hard for me when I was depressed to even, get off the couch. I gained a lot of weight when I was depressed because I had no energy to do anything. And it took a lot for me to not just lose the weight, because I think a transformation, a true and, sustainable transformation is not just a physical transformation. Mentally, you have to be willing to let go of anything that was holding you back and move forward and see that exercise and fitness and nutrition, that all those things just work together to not just make you physically feel better, but mentally feel better. And that is what exercise does for me. So I could make a whole video about exercise, and maybe I will one day, but like how it affects me and how it's helped me and like my specific transformation over the years. And all I can say is it's so true. When you hear that someone says, because I know it's out there, I know it's out there. People swear by exercise, but I'm telling you, even if it's not a physical transformation that you need, mentally, exercise does so much. Even just in the mornings when I go on my little walk. I go on a little walk around the neighborhood every single morning at 6 a.m. because it just, it wakes me up. Like, it wakes my mind up. I listen to podcasts and it grounds me. So moving on from exercise, I'll hop onto podcasts just because that kind of went right into that. So I am a huge true crime junkie. I'm obsessed. I love true crime anything. I think it is so interesting, and it goes back to my love for psychology. So for me, a positive coping skill is me listening to podcasts, watching things on Netflix, and just it's an escape. That's what it comes down to. Anything you watch, if it's good and healthy for your mind, it's going to help you escape the anxieties of your day. It's going to help you escape any issues that you're dealing with. Because there are things that may be unhealthy to watch and may be actually worse for your mental health. So you have to be aware of what interests you, but not just that, what leaves you feeling happy long term. And long term, I don't mean like for the rest of your life, but I mean like if you're watching something and in the moment it feels so good, but then afterwards you're like, oh my gosh, no, I'm comparing myself to this person. Now I'm in a bad place again in my mind. So if that's one of the issues, then I definitely don't recommend turning to like, and I'm trying to think, maybe if it's like a rom-com and you're going through some relationship issue, maybe don't watch the rom-com, maybe watch a comedy and make sure there's not much romance in it. Like, you have to be aware of what's actually going to help you. And yeah, just be aware. Awareness is really big. Yeah, so moving on now to art. Art is huge for me. And I've noticed that a lot of people who live with mental health issues really do appreciate art. Almost more than people who don't struggle with their mental health. I've noticed that, like with the people that I've talked to, it seems to be the case. I may be wrong, so please don't quote me on that, but there seems to be a connection with that certain area of the brain. Like I've met so many people who have depression, anxiety, bipolar, PTSD, who are so creative and make beautiful art, whether it be paintings or music or they're a great dancer, or there's this artistic side that seems to go hand in hand with people who struggle with their mental health. And I think it's because it's such a good outlet to have, and it's such a good way to express yourself. So I think art is one of those things that is a coping skill where you can express the feelings inside of you. So instead of turning to something to kind of distract you, it's expressing yourself and then seeing that it's actually beautiful instead of ugly because it's painful. Like the pain actually translates to beauty. And I love that I love that about art. I think art is incredible. Um, another coping skill is there are so many coping skills, guys. Um, I'm trying to think of like the main ones that a lot of people could relate to. Oh, another really good one is just taking time for yourself. This is one I really struggle with. But when I do take time for myself, I realize afterwards I am so refreshed, so rejuvenated, so mentally sound, and just like ready to take on the day or the next day. Usually I do like a self-care night or a self-love night. And yeah, I just recently started doing that because my boyfriend was like, I think you need it. Like, people in my life were kind of like urging me to do it because I'm always go, go, go. And I have to do this, I have to do that. I have to always be doing something to feel productive. And if I don't, I feel lazy. It's a problem. I'm not going to deny it. It's definitely a weakness of mine. But I'll take these days every so often where I'll just go and buy a pint of ice cream and I'm like, you know what? It's my night. It's my date night with myself, and I'll watch even like reality TV. You can joke me for it, but it really just takes you to another world. Like, when the drama is not your own drama or like affecting someone you love, it's good in such a bad way. I know it's bad, but it's good. um yeah, so those nights I'll take a bath, I'll pour myself a glass of wine, or really just relax. And relaxing is such a good coping skill. There, I said it again. Coping skill. I'm trying to think of like a fun different phrase to use or a fun different word to use, but I can't really think of one right now. But yeah, other I think other coping skills that are underrated are just getting outside. Stepping outside and just taking nature in is incomparable. Like, there is nothing else that can compare to nature. When you are outside, everything is just, it's so fresh. It's so like, I don't know. I don't even have words to put it, but if you go to the beach and just like look out at the water and see how vast it is, or just feel the sand beneath your toes, or go for a run and be surrounded by trees, hear the birds, like, it is very, very refreshing. So I have been blabbing on for a very long time now, and if you have been watching this entire time, first of all, thank you. Second of all, can you please, well, before you do this, like this video, please help me out. I'm new on YouTube, clearly. Subscribe to my channel. I promise I'm getting better with each video. I really have so many ideas for content, but I really need you guys to help me out. So please subscribe, please like my video and comment. So for this video, put a comment below what you think is the best positive coping skill you have. And then if you feel daring enough, share your any negative coping skill that you have, that you are like, I'm aware that this is not healthy, but I do have this other really positive one, so we'll just say they cancel each other out. Again, don't quote me on that. But yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna end this here. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Again, I'm very new to YouTube and I'm kind of trying to figure out what I can do. I know everyone wants to make it on YouTube. And in the beginning, when a few days ago, I was just like, I want to post whatever. Like, I'm just going to talk about whatever. Nothing in particular. I just want to start vlogging. But I realized that's really, really difficult to start with. So I've decided that I'm going to focus on the things that I am very passionate about. And one of the things I'm very passionate about is mental health. And it also happens to be, um, Suicide Awareness Month because it's September. So I really want to get a lot of mental health awareness content out there while I can. And I'll just kind of see how it goes from there. So thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll say it a third time. I hope you have a great night and enjoy your weekend. Bye.